So in this video, we have a woman here who's going to probably give some of the dumbest advice that I've ever heard to other women. So let's hear what she has to say, and then I'll share my thoughts.
I feel like the misogynists are going to eat me up for saying this, but I feel like one of the most empowering things a woman can do is be a single mother. Aside from being child-free and never marrying, and the woman who lives a life of leisure while she's married and still remains child-free, I feel like third place definitely goes to single moms, but society loves to bash women with kids so much that y'all don't want to admit it.
So the first thing, right? You wonder why the black community is so jacked up, right? How is it empowering to be a single mother? That's not something that that should empower women, right? Especially if you did that by choice, right? Also, the fact that she's talking about society likes to bash women with children. Like, why would society bash women with children? Society wants to promote more children. The thing is, we want to promote children being raised in a two-parent household. Right? Like, if you're just gonna be out here just being a single mother, then of course this is not something that we want to promote, right? It's not something that we want to encourage, right? We want to make sure children are being raised in a stable environment, right? If possible, right? That's something that most people understand. So to say that society's bashing women for being mothers is obviously not true. Like, it's not true. And to see that being a single mother is an empowering thing, I mean, who the hell? How is that empowering? Right, that's clearly not something that you want to encourage, especially not for the child.
There is nothing like a one and done mom or a woman with 2 kids tops who has her own financial income, her own financial freedom, and she's thriving in life still with her autonomy. There's nothing like it. I don't care what y'all say. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I feel like the women who remain child free and never marry, they are definitely top place. And then second place definitely goes to the women who play the game, still get married, live a life of leisure, and remain child-free. I mean, that's perfect. But we're not going to leave the single women out here who are one and done, who go and get their own money. They still have their autonomy, and they still get to experience motherhood, because there are some women who genuinely want to just have kids, and y'all can't bash them for that.
See, this is when I'm listening to her talk, right? Like, congratulations. If you're a single mother, you're thriving, you're making money, you got a good career, you're doing well financially. That's good. I mean, obviously, being able to provide for yourself financially is always a good thing. It's always a good situation to be in. But when I hear her talk, I hear a selfish person talking, because she keeps talking about her. I'm thriving, I'm making money, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. She's never talking about the actual child, right? She's never talking about what the child is going through, not having that, obviously that other person there, that father, that male figure there, that masculine energy there, right? She never talks about the child, like the effects, a child being raised in a single parent household. She never mentions that. All she keeps talking about how she's doing, how I'm thriving, how I'm making money, I'm getting to the bag, I'm doing all types of stuff. It's always about her. Right? She's not even thinking about the child. She doesn't even mention the child. Like, I don't know if she has a child. I don't think she talks about that in this video, but she keeps talking about, when it comes to single women, it's always about the I, me. She's never talking about the child. Never mentions the child. And the fact that you're ranking situations based on, if you have a child or not or whatnot, it doesn't even matter. If you're raising children in a single parent household, the chances of that child, going through having all types of issues when it comes to mental, physical, financial, it increases. Okay, but she doesn't talk about that. So when I hear her talk, I hear a very selfish person, because obviously, you being a single mother, the most important person in this thing is the child. Okay, who didn't have a choice. All right. Right, that probably didn't get a chance to see their father, which is a very important factor in the development of children growing up. But she doesn't talk about that. All she keeps talking about is money in the bag and all this nonsense that the child doesn't really care about. Right?
You know what I'm saying? Women who seriously still just want to have a baby, they want to experience motherhood, we can't bash them for that. And I feel like that's why I'm always telling women to just go get a donor. If you genuinely want children and you want to experience motherhood, go get a donor. But I always have to remember that me personally, I do not aspire to co-parent in any capacity, not even in the healthiest marriage. I do not want to co-parent. I don't want to share a kid with a man. That's just me though. But
She's giving all this advice, but she's telling people to go get a donor. Like, she doesn't want to. You see, she clearly just doesn't want to deal with men. That's clearly what she wants to do. She doesn't want to share a child with a man. She just wants to be able to just have the child for themselves and raise the child in a family, in a household where the man is just not involved. Right? Like I said, she sounds very selfish. She doesn't care about. She doesn't talk about the child's, well-being. Right? Because it's not about the child, it's about her. Like I said, she sounds like a very selfish individual.
I highly recommend women start to get donors more when they genuinely want to be a parent. And I feel like it's the most empowering thing that women can do. Single mom by choice with a donor, I don't know. I feel like it eats. I feel like the misogyny.
So obviously this advice is dumb, right? And to be honest with you, I think, like I said, I don't know if she has a kid. It doesn't sound like she does. But I think she's just doing this, obviously, to grow her following, clicks, making money. Because this advice is not good for women. Like, this is not advice women should be listening to, right? Like, as long as you're getting to the bag, it doesn't matter if the child the child's father is involved or not. Because she, like she said, she doesn't even want to deal with the co-parenting. Like, who does that? Like, you should be talking about you should be talking about raising a child in a stable home. Okay, that's the most important thing. Okay, or at least, at the very least, if you're not gonna be together with the father, at least let the father be involved. At the very least, let the child be able to be involved. Let the father be involved in the child's life. All right, so they can at least have some male role model there that's gonna provide a little bit of discipline and direction. Because clearly your advice is just terrible. Like, the advice that you're going to be giving that man, that child, I mean, listening to that child has no chance of success. Okay? And this is what I'm listening to when I hear this. Like, to go out there and say, being a single mother is something that's just so empowering. Why? Like, why? I don't understand. And you're talking about, you got a lot of single women, like, out here, being successful. Like, where do you see that at? All I see is like a lot of single mothers out there, crying about Donald Trump taking away their EBT, SNAP, welfare, all types of stuff. They're crying that their whole welfare thing is gonna be gone. Trump is taking it away. All right. So to say you're ranking them, I'm sure there are some successful single mothers out there. I'm sure, but these are outliers. Right. These are the exceptions. The majority of single mothers are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, on welfare. Okay, not in a stable foundation, and you just see it in the black community specifically. You see these young boys out here committing crimes at the early age of like 12, 13, 14, right? Like, why are you that young committing all serious type of crimes? Like theft. You got little kids with little guns out here shooting. Like, these are the effects of children being raised in a single parent home with no father. But you're out here making it seem like this is something that more women should do. Go get a donor. You don't need the man involved. Right? Get the donor, exclude the men, and then raise the child on your own. Right? So it's just really bad advice. And looking at the comment section, you getting mixed reviews. Some people supporting this. I'm pretty sure they're single mothers, so of course they would relate to that. But there's a lot of other people saying, "What? Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is horrible advice." So those are my thoughts. Interested to hear your thoughts. Make sure you leave a comment down below with the like button and share. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. So, guys, take care. Have a good one. Later.